Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome to the My Launch coverage of Atlas 5 with the United States Space Force 7 mission. Today, the Atlas 5, which is a two-stage launch vehicle system, is going to deploy the X-37B space plane into the orbit. We are about 6 minutes to go for live from the ULA side, but yeah, there is uh, we have a launch today. However, the weather condition is currently not giving a go, so let's see what the VLAs say about it. Let me check the Twitter first. So right now they are entering into the 13-minute hold period, uh, which is at T minus 4 minutes. So this is just a time slot allowed the manager to go for the checklist and check everything is well and go for the launch. Talking about the Atlas 5 two-stage launch vehicle system. The first stage is currently known as the Common Core Booster, which is remain the same during all the missions. It is powered by the single RD-180 engine. However, it has two thrust chamber, two nozzle, but this is the single engine, and this is the really a crown jewel of the rocket engines. I would say the most efficient engine. The second stage is known as the Centaurus. Centaurus is actually powered by the. Okay, he is my brother. He is joining me live for this broadcast. So yeah, the second stage is the Centaurus, which is powered by the Aerojet Rocketdyne's RL-10C1 engine. This is the world's most reliable engine ever flown into space. No, it's in operation since 1980s, and not a single failure occurred with that engine. It is really the reliable engine ever.
These engines have served in Apollo missions.
Yeah, that engine, as my brother said, that this particular engine's previous version supported the Saturn V third stage mission. So this is the actually a very reliable engine. Today, Atlas 5 is flying under the 501 configuration. Let me show you what is the meaning of it. So just to wait because my laptop is a little bit slow, so the problem is occurred. So the 501 configuration indicates the 5-meter fairing, zero booster, and the single stage upper stage. I think you can here see that there is no booster, the solid booster attached to the particular vehicle. It's having a single RD-180 engine. It have a very long fairing, 5 meters, which is a 5.4 meter diameter, and yeah, it's a very big fairing actually, one of the biggest fairing we in the world. Yes, you are right. You can see the single engine on the second stage, and this is the X-37B, the really uh, uh, reusable space plane. So what will happen is that this particular Atlas version will deploy this particular space plane into the classified orbit. From there, it will deploy one spacecraft, which is name is the Falcon 1, Falcon 5. Falcon 5 is also developed by the U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory and having several experiments on board to conduct, while the X-37B continues its journey over the about a year or more, because we don't know, because it's classified in nature, so we are not knowing anything about it now. but there is some known payload on this particular plane. First is the NASA sponsored payload, which where they find out that how the cosmic ray will affect the seeds which we grow on Earth and eat. So this is a very good thing, I think. Good experiment they are going to try. The US Air Force also going to conduct one experiment. They are trying to transfer the electricity from space to ground. It looks very odd, but they are right. What they do, they convert the solar power into the radio frequency and transfer the radio frequency to the ground. So this will help us to generate the electricity from space and utilize on Earth. However, this is just a small experiment. There is no utilization of this particular application right now. We will hope that in future this type of technology we have. The another thing is that there is some material also launched by the NASA in this particular plane, and they want to see that how this material will react in space for the long duration. So this is one more known payload. We are very close to the Atlas ULS live launch coverage. So let me just get pause for the minute and listen to them because the weather is still not no go. I think so. They will conduct the launch or they will postpone it. We don't know. So let's see. Let us see that. Meanwhile, talking about this particular version, this is a very cool version because you can see the big fairing on top and then the body gets flat down. Okay, they change time. Right? Time. Give me a moment, please. Okay, the launch is officially delayed by the 5 minutes. So we have 4 more minutes to go. So let's talk about the uh, Atlas 5. So Atlas is just started as a missile and then converted into the uh, I Atlas is was the ICBM during the Cold War time, and then it will converted into the rockets. They have the second stage called Agena, and on top of them they launch a Mercury Gemini spacecraft. They try to dock with the second stage of the Atlas. So the Atlas's history was very long. Uh, my brother will take over for some time.
So the Atlas 5, my brother has said that the Atlas 5 is a intercontinental ballistic missile. It was developed during the Cold War, in the Cold War. So Atlas was designed as an ICBM, but they are trained at one stage, and uh, are, they launch a spacecraft of the United States into the orbit.
So just we have the official weather report from the 45th Space Wing that announcing that the weather criteria will currently no go. There is now the rain at the launch site and they are not able to uh, pursue the launch on time. Uh, the chances of the uh, launch criteria violation is now 80%, which is the extremely bad condition for the launch. So let us see what the United ULS say about this particular thing. They didn't say that they are going to postpone this particular launch, but let's see because tomorrow Falcon 9 also going to be launched from the same launch site, which is the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. So yeah, two big competitors have their rockets on the pad at the same time. The Falcon 9 with the 60 Starlink satellites is on a Slick 40, while the current Atlas V is on the Slick 41, waiting for its launch. Uh, Still there is no word from the ULA, so hopefully we will need to wait for some more time. So let's talk about the ULA and SpaceX. So the ULA is like there. Okay, we have some live streaming from the ULA side. Let's wait. ULA is like they are building the rocket and then throwing it away. Uh, and this is the why they have to develop the new rocket named the Vulcan, and we will talk about the Vulcan on tomorrow's launch webcast of the SpaceX. But SpaceX is also having a very cool engines like the
Merlin engines, Raptor engines.
Merlin Raptors. They have and they have the extremely good fleet of the launch vehicles Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. Both can able to land on the either the land or drone ship, which is actually a great. They are using the 60% of the rocket part, which means they have dramatically reduced the cost of the launch vehicle. And we will talk about the reusability about the Falcon 9, how it comes tomorrow. Oh, 1 second.
Now live stream on way.
At Space Launch Complex 41, an Atlas V rocket is fueled and ready to launch the USSF-7
Okay, not
mission of
able
the
to
6th
hear anything right
X-37B
now. I
orbital
don't know
test
what
vehicle
happened.
flight for the Department of the Air Force. Good morning and welcome to Cape Canaveral Air Force
There is
Station
some
in
problem,
Florida.
I think.
I'm Tyler Strickland, a trajectory engineer from ULA's mission design team. We have two 10-minute windows available today. The first opens at 8:24 a.m. Eastern. At 10:13 a.m. The count is currently in a planned 30-minute hold. There are two planned holds in our nearly 7-hour launch count. The holds give our team additional time to resolve any issues prior to entering the terminal count. At this time, the team is not working any issues and we are proceeding towards an on-time liftoff. This morning's launch is part of the America Strong series, a collaborative salute from the Space Force and ULA to recognize healthcare workers, first responders, and other essential personnel. We'll talk more about this in a few minutes.
So we are still on holding phase.
Jessica Williams, the 45th Space Wing's weather officer, recently briefed the launch team on current weather conditions here at Cape Canaveral. The probability of violating launch constraints is 80%. The ground winds are 18 to 23 knots out of the northeast, and the temperature is 76 degrees Fahrenheit. So the weather is currently no-go, and we are still planned T0 for the 8:24 a.m. Eastern.
I don't know what is the UTC time or another time of 8:24.
At the request of our customer, this morning's live coverage will conclude following confirmation of engine start on the Centaur upper stage. In addition to the orbital test vehicle, today's flight also includes FalconSat 8, an educational platform for cadets carrying 5 experimental payloads that will be operated by the Cadet Space Operations Squadron from the U.S. Air Force Academy and sponsored by the Air Force Research Laboratory. We also have 2 NASA experiments to study the results of radiation and other space effects on a material sample plate and seeds to grow food. And we have an experiment from the Naval Research Laboratory to transform solar power into radio frequency microwave energy, which could then be transferred to ground. Let's take a look at the events from liftoff through main engine start.
Let's see how the
And liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket.
The Atlas V RD-180 engine ignites and generates 3.83 meganewtons, or 860,200 pounds of thrust, to lift the rocket away from the pad. Shortly after liftoff, Atlas begins a pitch over to attain the proper flight path, while minimizing the pressure the vehicle experiences during flight. Within the first couple minutes of flight, the Atlas V reaches Mach 1, the speed of sound. Approaching payload fairing jettison, the Atlas V is burning propellant at a rate of 719 kilograms, or 1,585 pounds per second, traveling more than 9,500 kilometers, or 5,900 miles per hour, and located 112 kilometers or 69 miles in altitude and 116 kilometers or 72 miles downrange. During ascent, the X-37B orbital test vehicle is protected inside a 5-meter diameter payload filter. This two-piece shell encapsulates both the Centaur upper stage and the X-37B. Once the vehicle is climbed above the densest part of Earth's atmosphere, the payload fairing is jettisoned. Following jettison of the payload fairing, propellant levels deplete and the booster engine shuts down. Following booster engine cutoff, the Atlas Centaur separation system activates to release the booster stage. The vehicle now weighs a little more than 15% of what it did at liftoff. The Centaur main engine is then started to begin second stage flight. Following main engine start, Centaur continues on to deliver the X-37B to begin its classified mission.
So this is classified mission, so there is no more launch coverage after the boosters, common core booster separation. So we have
ULA is using the Atlas V 501 configuration to launch the X-37B. This is the 84th flight of the Atlas V rocket in ULA's 139th mission. Produced in ULA's 1.6 million square foot factory in Decatur, Alabama, the 501 is comprised of a common core booster powered by an RD-180 engine and a Centaur second stage powered by an Aerojet Rocketdyne RL-10C1 engine. A RUOG 5-meter diameter payload fairing protects the X-37B orbital test vehicle during ascent. On April 23rd, the Atlas V first stage was transported to the Vertical Integration Facility, or VIF, at Space Launch Complex 41, where cranes lifted the 33-meter or 107-foot-long booster onto the Mobile Launch Platform, or MLP. 2 days later, the pre-assembled interstage adapter, Centaur upper stage, and lower half of the payload fairing was delivered to the VIF and lifted atop the Atlas V booster. The stacking of the rocket was completed on May 5th, when the X-37B, encapsulated in a payload fairing, was mated to the Centaur. Atlas V launch countdowns began with moving the rocket from the VIF to the pad. At approximately 10 a.m. Thursday, the quarter-mile trip began, using 6 components to complete the 20-minute trip. Weighing in at about 2 million pounds, the Mobile Launch Platform, or MLP, supports the rocket and contains air conditioning, electrical, and commodities, while the undercarriages bear the weight of the MLP and rocket. 2 rail cars lead the move, with the payload van providing communication to the payload, while the ground van houses the ground support for the rocket. At the rear of the convoy, the portable environmental control system provides air conditioning to the payload and rocket. Finally, trackmobiles provide the power to move the convoy. The Atlas V rocket stands about 60 meters or 20 stories and weighs about 346,000 kilograms or 760,000 pounds fully fueled.
So they are still on hold.
The X-37B orbital test vehicle is an experimental test platform managed by the Department of the Air Force Rapid Capabilities Office. Let's take a look at this unique program.
2019 at the forefront, touching down, speeding ahead, setting records for time and orbit. This is the X-37B, our country's only reusable spaceplane. Project and pride of the U.S. Air Force and Boeing, it launches into low Earth orbit and stays there as needed for as long as it takes to get the job done. The X-37B has ensured America's superiority across air and space, and it's come home again and again and again. Poised to advance and grow, meeting critical challenges, it flies safely, autonomously, and sustainably. This is innovation moving humankind forward.
With extremely high
This is
speed
the
compared to the
X-37B.
commercial or military aircraft.
X-37 please. Currently, only single plane are
X-37B is the only currently
United
spaceplane
Launch
available
Alliance
to
has
people.
successfully launched 4 previous orbital test vehicle missions. So let's look back at those missions as we count down to the next one. On April 22, 2010, the first flight of the Atlas V 501 rocket successfully launched the maiden flight of the orbital test vehicle for the U.S. Air Force. Launched on March 5, 2011, the second OTV mission for the X-37B program was in support of space experimentation, risk reduction, and concept of operations development for long-duration and reusable space vehicle technologies. On December 11, 2012, ULA's Atlas V rocket again successfully boosted an X-37B into space. The rocket's 5-meter diameter payload fairing protected the OTV during an atmospheric ascent, and the Centaur upper stage injected the payload into the desired orbit. And ULA's fourth OTV mission launched on May 20th, 2015, from right here at Cape Canaveral. As we continue to do our part to slow the spread of COVID-19, protecting the health and safety of the launch team is a top priority. We continue to follow CDC and local guidelines, including increased physical distancing between individuals sitting on console and wearing face coverings when practical. As I mentioned earlier, the USSF-7 launch carries a special dedication. Together with the Space Force, ULA is honoring healthcare workers, first responders, and other essential personnel on the front lines. And with this launch, we also stand in solidarity with those personally suffering or experiencing loss due to the virus. America Strong is a national salute to all those that have given so much during this pandemic. The Department of Defense and United Launch Alliance salute each American serving on the front lines in our fight against COVID-19. We are all in this together. Following liftoff, a few special guests will share their perspective on the role of our heroes in this fight. With today's flight, the Boeing OTV spacecraft team also wishes to remember one of their own who recently lost his battle with cancer. Vincent, or Vinny, de la Torre, was a key member of the OTV propulsion team who served on the launch and recovery teams for more than a decade. Thank you, Vinny, for all you did to make Boeing and the OTV successful.
This is the great thing I love about the ULA. They dedicate their rockets and their launches to their employees, and nobody that.
Before we pull the team, let's watch a quick message from Leanne Corrette, President and CEO of Boeing Defense, Space, and Security.
To everyone supporting today's historic launch of the X-37B, thank you. On behalf of the entire Boeing company, I want to express my appreciation for your work to achieve this critical mission. Since the X-37B's launch in 2010, it has shattered all expectations. Every time it launches into space, it achieves first. And there is no other program that provides our nation an unrivaled capability to rapidly test and integrate new space technologies. None of these achievements would have been possible without your hard work and dedication. Good luck today. Thank you for everything you do. Stay safe and be well. Go Atlas, go Centaur, go SF-7, and go X-37B.
So you heard the word from the president of the Boeing Aerospace Department. So X-37B is specifically built by the Boeing for the United States Air Force and the NASA. They built two X-37B and they utilized one by one. So, but we never came to know that which one is going to be launched.
Casey.
Go with you.
Or did I brief the other two storage tank liquid level one?
LD one.
LD.
MD.
MD.
Proceeded.
Okay, this poses no issues. We recommend forcing this measurement to be inactive. Method is to use option 354 and be done by filter.
We remain in the planned 30-minute hold as we continue towards liftoff. In a few moments, launch conductor Dylan Rice will pull the launch team for the final go to pick up the countdown. 29 engineers and managers are pulled for system status and readiness to proceed. This is the final status check for all Atlas vehicle systems, ground systems, spacecraft, and the U.S. Space Force Eastern Range. The vehicle system readiness poll includes electrical systems, hydraulics, pneumatics, propulsion systems, flight control, and propellants. Let's listen in as Dylan Rice performs the final polling of the launch team.
We are very close to the polling.
Status check to proceed with terminal count, Atlas Systems, propulsion.
Go.
Go.
Hydraulics.
Go.
Pneumatic. Go. LO2.
Go.
Water.
Go.
Centaur systems. Propulsion.
Go.
Pneumatic.
Go.
LO2.
Go.
LH2. LH2.
Go.
Pass gas.
Go.
Electrical systems. Airport.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Facility.
Go.
RFFTS.
Go.
Flight control.
Go.
CCQ.
Go.
Operation support.
Go.
COM.
Go.
Umbilical.
Go.
UCS.
Go.
Redline monitor.
Go.
Quality.
Go.
Off safety gauge.
Go.
ULA safety act.
Go.
Vehicle system engineer.
Go.
Anomaly chief.
Go.
Range coordinator.
No go for range weather LCCs.
Roger. LB.
So we have no go
5
from
minutes,
the
30
range.
seconds.
No go with the range coordinator and
Roger. And the team on that one, we're going to stay by here. LC switch will remain not ready.
So the weather is currently no go. So we do not know what is happening. They do have the another launch window within 1 hour, 1.5 hours from now. So hopefully the weather will improve and we can able to go for the launch on better time.
The range is currently no-go due to the violation of the cumulus cloud rule.
Let's wait for the word from the launch director whether they are going to abort or remain in ground. So what is the smoke coming from?
LD on one.
Okay,
Go, LB.
Please coordinate a new T0 of 12:34 Zulu.
Roger. 12340. RC, LC network.
RC.
Please coordinate a new T0 of 12340.
12-134 Zulu coordination work.
ALC, please set the clock for a new T0 of 12340.
Roger. In work.
So I think they are moving, shifting to the second launch window. Let's wait for the official comment. It's still very bad when someone goes off.
The launch time has now been rescheduled for 8:34 a.m. Eastern. This will be the end of the first window of opportunity.
Hello, Chief. Ricky.
Go, field, please.
I just wanted to confirm that Puma on 85 was force and active.
Roger.
Okay, so they are now at the end of the launch window, first launch window, so which is the 10-minute now. The launch window is overall 10-minute long, so now launch time is shifted to 10 minutes. Now I'm talking about the smoke coming from the Atlas. Okay, the Atlas utilized the liquid oxygen, which is extremely cold. It's stored at -124, -148 degrees Celsius. When it comes to contact with the outer atmosphere, due to this, this particular smoke is coming. So this is very similar when you in winter you can feel the smoke coming from your mouth. So this same thing happen with the rocket because extremely cold temperature met with this particular outer atmosphere, which is warm. So this will create this type of smoke, which is very normal.
LC, RC on one.
Go, RC.
New T0 is approved.
Roger.
Okay, new T0 is approved now. So we have to wait for 10 more minutes. It is very difficult to continue the commentary for the very first time, and now I have 10 additional minutes, but I do not have anything to discuss with you guys. So let's see what. So you can enjoy the lunch. We are coming back after 10 minutes. So we will come back soon. You can enjoy the view of the rocket. I will be back within the 5 minutes. Thank you so much for your patience. विरल अब आवाज આવે છે કે નહીં જોજે નહીં તો મને કે hi guys, so we are still 10 minutes away from the launch.
Cumulus cloud violation in high winds.
So you heard from the official commentator that the launch is currently on hold. The repolling is coming soon, and then after the final things is decided. Now the problem with this particular mission is that there is no backup launch window, because tomorrow SpaceX booked the 45th sailing range for their Starlink 7th mission, I think. For the 7th minute. Sorry. Yeah, so we have the SpaceX launch tomorrow, and range is booked for that, but we do not know, because this is the Air Force mission. There may be possibility that the SpaceX will to delay their launch, and the slot will be given to ULM, but we are not sure about 100%. So we are 8 minutes away from the new target time. So now we have I find out that there is some issue related to voice. I will be clear in next launch.
We remain in the plane 30-minute hold as we continue towards liftoff. Let's listen in as Dylan Rice performs the final polling of the launch team.
Okay, my brother is back. He loves the rockets. He actually loves the rocket, specifically Arianes and the Indian launch vehicles.
And Soyuz.
Yeah, Soyuz, one of his favorite launch vehicles. So we have 7 minutes to go. So let's discuss about the upcoming launches. We have 3 launches coming up continuously. One is currently the Atlas V with the OTV-6 mission. Tomorrow we have Falcon 9 launch with the Starlink satellite, and then on 28th we have the launch of the HTV on H2B rocket from the Japan's Tanegashima Space Center. So 3 launches coming up, and then we have the historic launch of space by the SpaceX for the NASA, the DM2, where the NASA astronaut Bob and Doug will take the ride to
LD on one.
Go, LD.
because of our constraints for the two weather conditions, we are going to move to the second window opportunity. Please coordinate a new T0 of 14:13:000.
141300, Roger. RC, LC, net 1. RC, go.
Okay, we have
Please coordinate a new
officially
T0 of
get the confirmation that the launch is now
141300 with
postponed
range.
to the next
Copy.
launch window, which is about 1.5
ALC,
hours
please
from
set
now.
countdown clock for a new T0 of 14130. Roger.
Let's end up with this webcast.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We are not able to launch during our first window this morning due to the weather constraints. However, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a second 10-minute window available, and that window opens at 10:13 a.m. Eastern. So the rocket remains fueled and the countdown will continue to hold at T-minus 4 minutes. For now, we'll take a break from our live coverage while we wait for the next window. Our coverage will resume at approximately 10:03 a.m. Eastern. We'll see you back here in about 90 minutes.
So officially confirmed there is a 90-minute delay from the launch, from the right now. So we have to wait for 90 more minutes. I'm going to cut this webcast and we'll join on the second launch webcast. The second attempt, I would say. So yeah, I'm talking about the DM2. Yes, SpaceX is going to launch Bob and Doug on their Crew Dragon for the very first time from US Soil since the space shuttle retirement. So all the people around the world are excited to see this particular launch, the extremely beautiful and next generation that Canada spacesuit, the Dragon capsule, which does not have the interior like the previous spacecraft have. It's very neat and clean and beautiful. So I will try to cover that launch, but I'm not giving you guarantee that I can provide you that launch coverage or not. But yes, we both are coming after the 90 minute now, and I'm going to pause this particular podcast for right now. Please join us 90 seconds from now. Thank you so much.
आगामी फोन होती एमा आवाज चालू